Hey there, happy day 1218 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. And it's been decades, lots of decades of experience in the offline world and just a few years of experience in the online world. And I like to compare and contrast the two and sometimes complain about what is in the online world different than on the offline world, and sometimes complain about both because some things seem like they're injustices. And one of our challenges as business owners and entrepreneurs is to figure out how to work with the constraints that we're faced with, whatever they are, whether they're, political regulations, regulatory, environmental, seasonal, whatever it is. There's different constraints on each of our businesses, and it's up to us to get creative and solve the problems for our own business as we're solving problems for the people that we serve. So today I'm thinking about not enough and slacking off. Slack off was our idiom for supersize your business today, and we're talking about the importance of slacking off. Doesn't have to be a negative. Sometimes you need to relieve the pressure. You need to devote less energy to certain activities and certain things, or less effort to things, or less resources to things, because you need a break or they need a break. And not just talking about people, talking about systems and equipment and processes and the way that we do things. Today, our challenge for our annual challenge is day, I think, 151 of our Do One Thing Every Day That Centers You, All About You 365-day challenge. And it started out with saying, whatever you are is never enough. And I'm like, okay, well, they lost me right there, because I don't believe that. I believe that as human beings, everything we need is already inside of us, and it's just up to us to develop and grow and learn and tap into the resources and the things that we need that are already inside us. Maybe it's a communication skill or a tool. Maybe it's a listening tool or skill. Maybe it's a skill or a craft that we want to learn, or a hobby that we want to learn to become better and better and better at, that we want to create a business out of, whatever it is. But I believe the desire to do that is always inside us already, and then we just have to tap into, find it, and figure it out, and then do something with it, right? We have to take action. So that first partial sentence, that segment of the sentence, was like, really? That's how we're going to start this off? Something about centering me? Because when you tell me I'm never enough, that definitely does not feel good to me. It does not make me feel centered. Then it goes on to say that we become whole by getting a small piece of something from anybody else, from somebody else. And so I get that a little bit, that we in and of ourselves are not the entire universe. We need other people, and other people need us to complete a lot of the tasks, a lot of the things, a lot of who we want to become and who we want to show up as on the planet. But it just kind of tipped me over, as many things do, which is why I'm doing this book, is to understand the things that trigger me, the things that get me frustrated. The other day it was the thought shower word, and it gets me frustrated because, number one, thought shower comes up with more negative connotations to me than the word brainstorm does. And so the political correctness of our world and universe is really exhausting, because there's nothing, I think political correctness is almost an oxymoron, because there's not a whole lot correct about our political beings right now. There are very few ethical, moral, good politicians, and I think it's sad, because we're electing people to represent us that definitely do not represent us as Americans. I'm speaking as a whole. Our morals, our values, our work ethic, our beliefs, anything. And it's going to be up to us to unelect the corruption and unelect the people that don't lead and don't represent and don't do any work in the jobs that we've elected them to do. They just pontificate, fill their own pockets, do what's right for them, participate in unethical, immoral, greedy, fraudulent activities that any of us, if we ever were to do anything remotely like the things that people are getting away with in political scenarios and situations, we would be in court for the rest of our lives, if not in jail. So I find it an interesting time for all of us to live. And I guess on Memorial Day, maybe I'm thinking too much about these things, but I think that we have to remember that the American people are much more amazing than the media and our politicians give us credit for. So as long as we think for ourselves and we do what's right, we draw that line in the sand and say, no, not going to do that, not going to tolerate that, totally unacceptable. Nope, the rules that you make for us also apply to you, so start holding yourselves accountable as well. And things will turn around. Things will go back to the way they should be. And I say the way they should be in terms of good versus evil. Now, stuff's been going downhill for a long time, and we just haven't known about it. It's been secretly, it's been happening behind the scenes intentionally. It's not, and been kept secret intentionally. It reminds me of, nobody can ever know what anybody else makes at work because they'll get mad or jealous or they can't handle it. They can't handle that the CEO makes more money than the president, and the president makes more money than the vice president. And the different vice presidents of the different heads of different departments, some make more money than others. Why? Because their functions are a heck of a lot harder and more complicated to run and operate and manage and lead than others. So it's interesting. And then all kinds of other things that are unrelated get thrown in there, like gender and race and everything else. Now, I worked in and have worked in male-dominated industries my entire life, my entire career. Is there a glass ceiling? Only if you believe there's a glass ceiling for you. If you don't, you find ways to advance your career, advance your life in other organizations, in other ways. You don't sit in an organization and bang your head against the ceiling and say, oh, there's a glass ceiling, I can't do anything for me. You get off your derriere and you go where you're appreciated. You go where there is no glass ceiling. You go where your skills and abilities are appreciated despite and in spite of whatever is different about you. Whether you have gray hair, a cough, a big nose, you're a woman, a man, non-binary or I think it's called non-binary, you're not categorizing yourself in any way, shape, or form, or whatever else. But this whole push, actually for racism, because politicians are pushing racism, it's driving me crazy. If you are penalizing people because their skin is white, that is racism. It's the exact same thing as penalizing people if their skin is another color other than white. And it's mind-boggling to me that people are falling for this race card cancel culture crap that's going on in the media. And that's why I don't watch media. And that's why I'm off and sidetracked. And that's why today I'm slacking off. I'm reducing the pressure. I am hanging out with my granddaughter. I am reviewing my goals. I like to usually quarterly, but especially mid-year, and I consider Memorial Day is usually mid-year, is a day that I go and I review all of my longer-term goals, and I say, okay, well, how am I doing overall, big picture, on my progress toward those goals this year? And it gives me an opportunity to course correct. Now, I do it every week and every month as well, but sometimes I need to step back further and then look at and say, okay, do I need to reprioritize based on what's going on, based on the results we've got so far? Do I need to shake things up a little bit and maybe move health? Now, right now I'm feeling like a cloggy nose and cold, which I do not want a cold. It's probably allergies. I say I don't have allergies, but there's all kinds of stuff blooming here in Wisconsin. And we've had rainy, moist, icky weather. They're putting in a new yard, so who knows? Could be all kinds of things just bugging my head. But maybe I need to move my health regimen up a little bit on my priority list, or some of the things I'm doing to compensate for that. So this is a good day and a good time that I like to do that. That's it. That's all I'm going to share today. I guess I've gotten off topic. But go ahead. Slack off today. Do the things that make you feel good and focus on the things that will help move you ahead going forward the rest of the year. If I can help you in any way, if you have any questions, hit me up, ask in the comments below. Since I'm slacking off today and playing with family, I probably have more time than usual to respond to things. All right, have an amazing day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Take care.